What's up, everybody, and welcome to a brand new episode of Life's a Garden. Today's guests are a couple of legends in the Billings music scene. They've been around a long time and played in some of the most badass bands along the way, including their current band, Pressureknot. And this Friday, June 7th, my band Cutthroat will be playing alongside them as well as our friends in Mopsquito. Craft local. Show starts at 7 o'clock. We can't wait to see you there. Come on out, support local music. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the show, Rob Parker and Tony Killebrew.
Why don't you talk in the microphone? I got a back right here. Back of my. Got it.
All right, cheers, brothers.
Cheers, brother.
Make it work for you.
Here's to you.
Yeah, we got half the band on. 2 out of 4 is not bad.
Better than 0, I guess, huh?
True that. I would have had everything all set up. I was just sitting here talking, pretending. Or edit myself in as all the guests.
Or just pretend Mike's sitting here.
Yeah, right. You guys excited for a good show this weekend?
Yeah, looking forward to it, man. We're got some new tunes rolling, and we're looking forward to throwing down with you guys.
Right on. You guys got some new songs?
Yep, we're gonna go and record with at Iconoclast here at the end of July.
Hell yeah.
So that'll be cool.
Right on. Yeah, he's fun to work with, man.
Right?
Because you guys have worked with him before, right?
We have. Yeah. We did an EP with him 2 years ago?
Yeah, I think so.
22. Yeah, and he did a great job, and I mean, he's top of the line, especially in here in town. There isn't anyone better that I know of.
Yeah, that's who we went through too. So, and we're probably planning on hopping in there, hopefully at the end of the year. That's the early plan.
You guys did a full length, right?
No, we only did 6 songs.
Oh, okay.
This time we're gonna do full length though.
See, that's the whole thing about the EP. You know, instead of doing a full length every 3 years, the thought is that if you do an EP, it's like half the price, and that way you can do one every year.
Yeah.
Instead of waiting 3 years between full lengths.
Well, and then you have to use up extra material that you could just add on the EP and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Our whole thought was just get some stuff out, get out there.
Right. Documentation, perpetuity.
Well, we've had so many songs we're forgetting.
Yeah.
Right.
We've had a few of those as well. It's not that we've necessarily forgot them, but we just don't play them as much anymore.
Right.
And so, yeah, we'll try them out every now and again, 7 months between, and it's like, ooh, that was rough.
Yeah. Last year, when everyone got injured and we were out for like 5 months.
Oh, yeah.
We had a brand new song and then kind of just spaced it out. And we wrote a new song, and turns out that the new song was really just the old song that we had in a different form.
Oh, okay. Just kind of reincarnated.
Yeah, like subconsciously.
That's kind of fun, though.
I'm like, man, that riff seems really familiar. What is that from something else? And then started listening back to old recordings and like, oh yeah, that's our new song before we got injured.
Okay. Yeah, we'll record stuff every now and again. Like if somebody's just fiddling around and we're like, oh, that sounds cool. Let's record that and like remember that for next time.
Right. I mean, documentation is huge.
Oh yeah.
I mean, we don't record our whole practice, but if we're working on a new song and maybe it's the last iteration before the end of practice, we get it recorded just for the matter of next time we jam, we can go back to it and say, hey, this is where we left off.
Yeah. Yeah, we got to record, like we have to, if ever we actually structure a song and like write it out, we got to record it because then half of the guys forget their parts.
Right,
or
exactly.
It's just like, oh, what did I play there?
Right. Well, change this or change that. No, look.
Oh, yeah. I've got so many recordings on my phone where it's like, we went back. There's one song we're like, oh, what was that one that we were fiddling with a while ago? And we look back and I finally found it. It was like 2 years ago. I was like, we still remember that one? I don't know. Thank God we have it, though.
Score, that's new material.
Yeah, exactly. It's new old material.
Yeah.
So, and then you guys got a couple cover songs too, right?
Yeah, we We typically do some Van Halen,
Yeah, oh yeah.
just to keep things fun.
Yeah,
We're so hardcore getting down into the metal. At the end of the night, it's nice to be able to just kind of smile and have some fun.
and it's always nice to have a song that people recognize. Like,
Yeah,
just the casuals that aren't at
people
all the
seem
shows.
to dig it.
Yeah, you guys do a good job with that.
We're like 4 or 5.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's what we should do is just do a Van Halen tribute.
That wouldn't be bad.
But I mean, that's the kind of thing that goes on the front burner. You don't put that on the back burner. That's got to be your whole deal for as long as you're doing it, because I've seen cover bands play Van Halen and have been like, God, he just hacked that. That was horrible. And, I mean, if you're going to play Van Halen songs, it's got to be there. It's
Yeah.
got to be spot on, or you might as well not even bother.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, cover songs in general, I feel like that's the trick with them. You can make them your own and make them uniquely you, but there's only so much you can bend before people are like, oh, they messed that up. Or
Right.
like we've heard this song 1,000 times. We know how this song goes.
You got to pay respect to the song for sure. Kind of like, you got to know the rules before you can break them.
Mm-hmm.
You have to do long division before you get a calculator kind of thing. You got to be able to do what the song honor before you can go start screwing with it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I'm sure you guys are pros. You know how to do music justice.
We try. That's all you can do is give it your best shot.
Mm-hmm.
Like my inner 15-year-old. Hey, you didn't do that correctly.
Right.
If you were in the crowd right now, you'd be mad at yourself.
Right.
Well, and the lucky thing is, I feel like most of the time when you're up there, and that's one thing I like about doing originals is you there's kind of room for mistakes and stuff. The only people that really know are the people in the band,
Yep.
and as long as you play it off, most of the people in the
Right.
crowd probably don't know unless they're musicians too. But
Right.
Well, if you even go to even to go see like a Metallica concert or any of these like the big bands, they play their songs different every once in a while, every night too. It's like I've seen Metallica change their songs several times. You're like, well, that's not what he said. Well, that's not what it is. Well, changing the words and goofing around. It's your song, you can do what you want.
right.
Right.
Well, and it's always, I'm sure after playing songs for 30 years,
Yeah,
you kind of want to mix it up a little bit, try something a little different.
throw in a fill.
Yeah.
Felt good that night. I put a fill in there.
Just got to remember to stay with the click track and
Yep.
the backing tracks.
Yeah,
I'm
for
just
real.
kidding.
Yeah, if you get off too far, then it's like, that's another thing that, like, you guys play with the click?
No.
Okay, yeah,
We don't.
we don't either. And it's like, you can tell sometimes because
Right.
you get that juice of energy and like it just goes up a little bit faster and
Mhm.
you got to speed up how you're singing a song or you got to speed up how you're playing. And
Right.
sometimes it throws you off a little bit.
Yeah, it all depends on the mood of the drummer.
It really does.
Because, like, he sets the pace, and sometimes he's really excited. Sometimes he's a little hungover, and you can tell there's a little tempo difference there.
Mhm. Well, and like, and if the energy of the crowd is a little bit dead, which,
Right.
you might go a little slower, or like, maybe the vibe of whatever's going on is just a little bit down and
Yeah.
you're playing a little bit more sluggish.
I don't know about you guys, but we're always excited to play live.
Oh, yeah,
And
of course.
So, it ends up being a tad fast usually,
Hmm.
just because we're excited to be there.
I don't care if I clear the room, as long as we get to play.
That's the best, yeah. Well, and I get those like good nerves
Yeah.
where it's
Yeah.
like, I definitely feel like my first two songs of a set are my worst just because I'm like trying to
Mm-hmm.
just feel the vibe and once you're settled in and you're with
Right.
everybody and you feel like you're how you normally feel with practice and how you've
Mhm.
been there before.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I get excited too, like, waiting for your turn. It's
Yeah.
like, come on, let's go.
I get antsy.
And it's kind of rude, but like, I'll even be like, when the band before us is finished, I'm like, hurry the fuck up and get your shit out of there.
Oh, I am like such a stickler about making sure in between sets Like if we're the middle band or the first band, I'm trying to help
Oh, yeah.
get shit off because
Yeah.
I've seen bands do it so slow, and I'm just like, what are you doing? Like,
Right.
Like, have a little respect for the band after you, and then
Right.
just know what you're supposed to be doing.
Who was that one guy, that drummer? He was like, he finished playing the set, and then he's over there. He's like shining his cymbals
Oh, my God.
on stage before he puts them in his bag.
Yeah,
Oh,
there's a,
my.
There's a big national guy that like was mouthing off about people not getting off the stage fast enough, and then Ben and those guys played with him somewhere. He said he took the longest to get off the stage.
Right? He's the one.
It was like, you know.
Yeah, you'd think they'd have a little bit more of the professionalism if they're.
Mhm.
But I suppose then you also have that. If you're like that, you might just be like, oh, I'm better than everybody else. Blah blah
Right.
blah. I can do what I want.
Like I've played in Jerusalem.
It's like, okay, cool. Take your
Well,
shit
yeah,
off
get your
faster.
shit off the stage.
Or then you got guys that have those big drum kits,
Yeah.
and it just takes forever. Even if you're going fast, it takes forever, and you're just like, damn.
Or a big old rack, and it takes 3 people to get it off the stage.
Exactly. But it's like, you don't got to take all your cymbals off. Like, let's just get them off stage, then you can take them
Right.
off. You know, the drums are the hardest. Or if you have like a big stack, that can be tough too.
So we're high speed, man. We're off of there, boom.
Mm-hmm.
Because we've been in that situation so many times.
Right.
People ahead of us, people behind us. We don't want to be those guys. You don't want to be that guy, right?
Absolutely.
You know, if you got a stage manager or a testy sound guy, you just want.
Oh
It's
yeah,
just easier to keep them happy.
for sure.
So.
Well, it's just good for everybody anyway.
Mhm.
And then I'd prefer if somebody, you know, rather than if, for instance, this next show, you know, we're playing right before you guys, rather than get your stuff on and then like now it's like you just got to go right now.
Right.
You got your stuff set, take 5, and
Right.
then resettle yourself, and now you can
Mhm.
go. Rather than having to be like, oh shit, it took us so long to get our stuff off, got your guys' stuff on, and now it's like you got to go.
Right.
I'd rather give you guys time to like.
Yeah. I mean, you never know. Maybe we'll backline.
Or I mean, there's nothing wrong with. I've never had a problem with that either. It just makes the transition that much smoother.
Be like, yeah, you put your drums down there on the regular stage.
Oh, well,
I'm just kidding.
amps are a lot easier with that. Drums, if it's a bigger stage, yeah, the drums is not
That's
a problem.
usually how Thirsty Street is. Yeah. Once you get set up on that big stage, I'm not taking them down.
Shit, why would you?
I'm all sound checked.
How was the show the other night?
It was awesome.
Yeah?
It was a good turnout, and all 3 bands did really well, and it worked out for the positive for everybody.
I love that venue, man.
Yeah.
It's changed so much too. Just from we played there with Endeavor. Like, when was that? Like 1,000 years ago.
When
Oh,
it was
yeah.
the Yellowstone Brewing Company or whatever.
Yeah, and the stage was in a different place.
On the
and
side.
sound. I mean, everything was different. So it's like so much nicer.
Yeah. Well, it's cool when
Yeah,
they get
that
that
sound
garage
system's
open and
nice.
shit too.
Yeah. Zach does a great job on running the sound and getting everything set up.
I just saw him last night.
Did you?
Yeah. It's always funny who you'll run into. Like I was just talking to Mike the other day, and we were talking about like cover songs and we were just bullshitting music, you know.
Right?
And so it's just funny running into people down there. It's
Yeah.
like-
Yeah.
but yeah, I'm glad the show went off good.
Yeah. And craft's always a good time.
I love. Yeah, this will be our first time at Craft this year, I think.
Yeah. Us too.
We've kind of been slow. Well, I mean, you guys, you had the injuries and all that. You had to
Yeah.
kind of lay off, not by choice. We're kind of last year. I think we played quite a few shows, and I think this year we're kind of just like spacing them out a little bit more. You know, I think this will be maybe our 3rd or 4th show this year.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it can be rough out there to get time slots at little places. I mean, anymore, you got to be 6 months booking 6 months ahead.
Yeah, and I've noticed that with Craft too. Craft
Right.
is very. I need to talk. I actually need to get a hold of Thirsty Street and try and set something up for like September, October, something like that. That'd be nice.
Yeah, they're booked out pretty solid too.
Oh, I bet. Well, and if not, it's all good.
It's nice though. I like seeing like the giant posters that say this is happening, and there's like all this stuff going on, as opposed to nothing.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it's a good
So
problem to
it's-
have.
Yeah.
And then
Right.
that'll only give more opportunity to other venues to open up and make new opportunities for us to have places to play.
Right. Exactly.
And through you guys know, we've always had venues and then they'll go away and then new
Mhm.
ones pop up, and it's just like, I mean, remember back in that day, the FOE and
Mm-hmm.
the rail yard, like those were the places.
Yep.
And now it's just We basically just have Thirsty Street. I guess there's Kirk's, Craft, and then pub if you're ever lucky enough to get in a pub.
I'm selling enough tickets.
Exactly. If you can prove you can sell tickets, you're good.
Right.
I've been wanting to kind of get like a local thing together there. I like that they're starting to do that. Love your locals.
Mm-hmm.
Like they used to do more local stuff there. And now they finally are doing it again. It'd be cool to get.
That was what, Friday night?
Yeah.
Yeah, we drove by there. It was pretty packed.
Right
from what
on.
I could tell.
I mean, I think we have a good scene here. Like we have and it's not even the musicians and the bands and all that. Like all that's good, and it's pretty much always been pretty good. But more than anything, is the support, like the local support, the people that come out and actually watch the music and pay for merch and do all that stuff. Like I think it's at the best it's ever been.
And it's surprising how many of those people are strangers.
Yeah, I love that.
Most of the people that buy our merch and our endos are people that maybe have seen us for the first time, or I'll invite friends, and you can't count on friends to. It's not like they owe you support. So if they don't want to go, you can't hold it against them.
Well, it's tough too, especially when they've probably seen you like 8, 9, 10 times, and it's just like, yeah, we've seen it. It's. Let me know when you got like a bunch of new songs.
We do have a certain crowd though that does show up every time.
Yeah, we do too.
Which is cool.
Yeah, it's nice having those solid followers,
right?
The loyal people who show up every time.
Yeah, those are the best.
That's how you know you're doing something good.
Right.
When you have people that want to see you time and time again. They're not there because they have to be. They're there because they want to be.
I always have the shirts too. I had somebody asking me about an old shirt that we used to have. And I was like, I don't even think we have any of those anymore. But because we've had people that have had those, been coming to the show so long, it's like, wow, we have an out of print shirt now that somebody wears. So that's kind of cool.
You guys got any new merch coming out, or just sticking the same?
We've got some ideas, but we're trying to wait until we get this recording done.
Yeah, that's priority for sure.
I mean, we've just re-upped on our Evolution of Pain merch, and so we still got a buttload of that. And besides for doing something creative and fun, typically we make the merch to support the record.
Yeah,
kind of thing.
That's smart.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, we thought about doing something like that with the rollout of the CD. I just never came up with a good concept. Like, I wanted to do something different, and it kind of already was with our fish shirt.
Yeah,
it kind of already was.
That's cool.
Yeah, I love that thing. Got one for everybody in the band.
Right.
But yeah, we got some new merch coming out for like a summer series. I'll show you.
Right.
I'll show you a picture
Cool.
of it afterwards. But
I mean, that's a great idea too. Just like doesn't have to be a reason.
Yeah, just something simple and to create like just different and fun.
You guys had the stocking hats, didn't
The beanies?
Yeah.
Yeah, we got those. We just got those last year for the winter, and
you? Yeah, that was a good idea.
they're not bad. I mean, they're pretty cheap to make too. And I saw Juniper Black was the band I saw that had those, and I was like, oh, that's a good idea. I kind of like that. It just looks clean, the white on black.
Mm-hmm.
So and like I said, they're pretty cheap to make. I think we got 48 of them. Who do you guys go through
For merch?
Yeah.
Well, we're in between vendors right now because the last time we did a refill, they just screwed me.
Oh shit.
So they had this like minimum order.
Mm-hmm.
So I had only needed like 20 more shirts, but I had to buy like 40 to make it because they won't do an order that small.
Yeah.
And I come to find out that they don't even do the pressing in town. They send it off to get it made. And so I'm paying for shipping too.
Yeah, that sucks.
And they're not even doing it in-house.
Yeah, it's not even like a local.
That pissed me. They're local, but they're
not
don't do
doing
the
any
work
work.
local.
Right.
And that's kind of BS if you ask me.
Yeah, it's like you could.
So if you know anybody.
Well, we go through Dynamic Design out in Laurel.
Huh.
They do a good job.
Do they?
And you can buy, the minimum you can get for most things is 24.
Right.
So it's like it's in increments of 24 is how you have to order. And obviously the bigger bulk you get, the cheaper per unit. But yeah, that's where we do our hats. They do all their embroidery and shit like that.
That's good to know.
Yeah, and they're good quality stuff.
Maybe get some contact info from me
Yeah.
after.
Yeah, and we've been doing them since day one.
Yeah.
Like I said, I got to go out there tomorrow and get a boatload of freaking, because we re-upped on
Or
our.
grab me a card or something.
Yeah, well, I think I have some here.
Okay, good.
But yeah, we're doing a restock of the tank tops.
Oh yeah.
Just because summer's coming up, we're like, let's.
Right.
We were gonna do booty shorts, like girls' booty shorts, but it was just so expensive. Like,
Right.
it was almost a third of the whole order, and I'm like, nah, I'll find a cheaper option on that. Like, I think it wasn't necessarily because of like the cost of what it was. It was just like the type of shorts they were so expensive, and they
Right.
only had so many options for those.
They'd be expensive without the ink on it.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway.
Exactly.
Right.
And we were going to probably... It was probably also because we were doing a lesser unit of those.
Oh yeah.
So per unit, they were... That's a whole different level of the game, too,
Mm-hmm.
There's certain... You got the music side of it. You got the promotional side of it.
Mm-hmm.
Merch, all that.
And then you got the social media side of it.
Mm-hmm.
And then you got the booking side of it. And then you got the art side of it. I mean, you're like a one-person marketing department.
Exactly. Which,
You have to be.
I enjoy that stuff, but there's times when it can get a little overwhelming.
I like the creative part.
Yes.
Like designing a flyer, or coming up with a shirt design.
Yeah.
That's the kind of stuff I dig.
Yeah, it's all that's... But then you gotta like make sure you keep it all like okay, I gotta do this, I gotta talk to these people, I gotta order this, make sure I get this in.
Yeah, I just don't like the social media piece.
Me too, because I forget half the time.
Right?
I'm like, oh shoot, I posted on this, but I didn't post on this. I'm like,
Right.
Like, what social media are people using?
right,
It's like, so what's going to get traffic?
Right.
And then some people pay to have their show or their event show up more often, and then,
Oh yeah.
so it's like,
You give it the boost.
yeah, you can. What's it? You pay like $5 for the boost or something like, or $10.
which isn't bad.
I mean, always do the boost.
Yeah.
That's a given.
Well, it's like too. I don't ever know the algorithm of what's gonna get eyes on it. Like, we've paid money to try and get that CD out there more, and there's times I'll pay $20 on it and get the same amount as if I paid $50. It's that, like, the amount of money doesn't seem to change that. It's all about like what you put in as
Keywords.
exactly.
Right.
We used to just put like hot chicks on our flyers.
Yeah, there you
It
go.
didn't matter if they were going to be there or not, but if somebody thought they were going to be there, then people would show up, because it's like ladies drink free. Well, the guys are going to show up.
Right.
So
Kill the keg.
yeah, kill
$5.
the keg, $5.
That's all. Yeah, that all loops into the marketing side of it, where it's like, what can get asses in seats.
Yeah. Ladies drink free.
Well, and the best thing is too, it's like, if you can bring a bunch of people that don't really know you for whatever reason, whether it's
Right.
that and then you can sway them into liking what you're doing because of what you're doing is enjoyable, and like
Right.
you're putting on a good show, you're playing well, whatever it is
Moving around.
that connects to that person that never heard of you before. That's a good show. You put on a good show.
Right. Even if it's just one person.
Right. And then another thing I like about craft is they filter that music to the outside.
Right.
So
Right.
if you're walking by, you hear it and you're like, what the hell's going on in here? Like, we've had a few people that came up and was like, wow, we were just passing by and came in and checked
Right.
it out. And it's like, right on.
Yeah.
Love to hear that. Yeah, it should be a good show this weekend.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
And then shout out to Mobsquito too.
Yep. They killed it last week.
They always do. I think you and Mobsquito are probably the two bands we've played with the most, if I had to say, just throughout our whole time.
Yep. The Lord of the Independence.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think I like, I mean, I like to work with the bands that are just chill to work with.
Right.
Some people take it a little too serious, which isn't a problem. There's nothing wrong with that. But it's like, come on, we're local bands. Like,
Right.
there's you don't gotta act like, I get wanting to be on that next level, but you're not. You don't gotta act like you are yet.
Right. Right.
It's good to have that mentality and like present that on stage.
Right.
But then there's other aspects of it where it's like, I'm too cool to like hang out with you. I'm gonna go sit in the back and wait till I'm playing.
Right.
Rather than be out front and supporting.
I mean, it's a it's a it's a tough business. You're like don't take offense, but well, people from in other bands in town never come to our show.
Oh yeah.
They only go to their own show. And I'm guilty of it too sometimes. I try to get out and support bands, but I've done the same thing where like, oh, that show's tonight, but I'm doing this other thing, so oh well.
I mean, anymore, I feel like there's shows that show up in town that are like traveling acts. I'm like, oh, that's tonight.
Right.
Well, I was gonna come see you guys on because I'd never seen Lethal Aid, and I talked to him at the Monty the other night.
Does he?
The bass player.
Oh,
Oh,
Cody.
Yeah, and yeah, I was gonna come out, and then my buddy needed me to help him load up a camper in his truck, and I was like, okay, well, if we can do this quick, I can still make the show.
Right.
No, it took like 3 hours. And it was
Right.
way the hell out in Fromberg. I was like, this sucks. But I was like, I'll see these guys in 2 weeks.
Yeah. Always be around again.
Oh yeah, yeah, I get that too though, where it's like, and really, it's a fine line where like I always feel like I want to support and like go and check out
Right.
stuff and do all that, but then it's like you're also in it,
Mhm.
It's like you don't want to go to your job on your day off, kind of a
Right.
thing sometimes.
Right.
But there's just certain I try and find the medium where it's like I can still go to shows, but I can't go to all of them.
Yeah.
Back in the day, I'm sure it was a lot more like tight knit.
Yeah, I mean
No, not really.
it
just depends.
their scene always seems to have some sort of clash going on. In the perfect world, we'd all be buddies and be supporting each other and looking out for each other, but that's just not the world. And so you can't. It's one thing to think about, but don't make the mistake of thinking that everybody's cool with everybody,
Right.
because everybody's not, and it's kind of sad, but it's the truth. And I try to be cool with everybody.
Yeah, same.
I don't think there's anybody out there that I've ever like really been a dick with.
At least not on purpose.
I drink
if
a lot sometimes. But
I had about a span of 5 years where I was just blackout drunk through most of the shows, and I said some shit.
right?
And I didn't mean it. A lot of times it's just I'm Hulk Hogan or Macho Man, and I'm hulking up and
Yeah.
I'm being goofy, and that's the majority of it. I'm just thankful to keep doing what I'm doing at this age.
For
So,
sure.
this stuff's fun.
Yeah, we're old.
We're old. We're older than. Holy crap!
That's the other cool thing about music, though, is there's like no age limit.
Yes.
It's not like playing football or something where you just wear out.
Yeah.
You just keep going.
There's a
until they
timetable
get better
on it.
and better.
Yeah, look at the Stones. Look at freaking Ozzy and shit. Like, they're
Yeah.
still ticking along. Maybe not as
Right? There's
well
no
as they
end
used
to it.
to, but it's still, yeah, there's no end.
Right?
So long as you're still, like, physically able to
Mhm.
perform.
Mm-hmm. So why not?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, I guess I should quit because I reached my age limit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Time to retire.
Look at like I always say, Lemmy went till he died.
Right?
Yeah.
Literally.
He died like right after, like just a few days after their last time they played. So
That's crazy.
standing up there, all skin and bones, and still.
Well, and even if you can't, like, go as hard, like, you can always pick up an acoustic and just jam. Like, that's forever. You can, doesn't have to be hardcore to the day you die, but some
Right.
of those guys do.
Once a music person, always a music person.
Absolutely.
If I got a leg amputated, I'd still play guitar.
Oh, yeah.
If I couldn't play on stage anymore, I'd still be playing. I'm just a music man.
Yeah.
I saw a guy with he was born strange or something, where he'd had a deformed arm, and he had like just a nub, but it
Uh.
was able to hold a pick.
Oh, yeah.
He's playing.
Remember
Yeah. What's your...
Muhammad Waldi?
Uh huh.
Muhammad Waldi, you ever heard of that guy?
Mm-mm.
He doesn't have a right arm. I think he was born missing it. And he just shreds a guitar.
Yeah, just
all
one
hammer
hand.
on pull-offs.
That's
And
crazy.
he plays brutal death metal.
That's wild.
Yeah. He was a badass.
So no excuses for anybody out there.
Right.
I think the biggest one is the biggest and probably the greatest, most iconic one is Tony Iommi.
Yeah.
Got his fingers off.
Oh,
And
yeah.
he just put some leather on him and kept going. And he thought Black Sabbath, majority of the stuff is out now, you'd never even hear.
Oh yeah, that was like the start of it all.
Yeah.
So speaking of back in the day, like tell me a little bit of like the origin stories of maybe let's just go way back,
Okay.
and then we'll bring it up to the present. Like where does music start for you guys individually, and then how do you guys meet each other and so on?
Let's see. So, actually, yeah, we're hitting our. This band started in 2014, so we're on our 10-year anniversary.
Nice.
And let's see, I was jamming and with Kelly and them and Disembodied Messiah, and I was playing bass and singing, and this wasn't my thing because I couldn't play. I'm a guitar player, and here I am doing a bass vocal thing. And so I kind of got out of it, and I was just floating around for a while looking for something to do. And I ran into a band in the parking lot at the rail yard. Mike had said something about, I know this kid that plays drums. And so we just we met in the parking lot. We went going to a show, and then kind of, what's up, man? How's it going? Cool. Where do you live? Oh, I live over by Senior High. Where do you live? Oh, I live over by Senior High. Turns out we're freaking neighbors. We're like, hey, you want to jam? So we started jamming, walking distance, he's back 4 houses away from me. And we thought, well, let's start doing something. Let's see if we can make something happen. And so we started auditioning bass players, and along came Tony. Call him One Take Tony. And he got the slot, and the rest is history, man. Well, no, that's not true. So we were a 3-piece, and actually we put out our first album as a 3-piece with me on vocals.
Okay.
And then that's about the time that Endeavor broke up, and I've been friends with Mike for 20 years, and so I asked him if he wanted to get in on it, and he said okay. So here we are. Me and Mike were in a band for 10 years before he was in Endeavor.
Damn.
Called Disdain.
Oh yeah, I know. Yeah.
Yeah, we had that band for 10 years. And what happened was my wife got pregnant, and I had a little baby boy, and I just kind of had to hang it up for a while, at least until I didn't blow his eardrums.
Yeah.
So I quit playing completely from the time he was born till he was like 6.
Oh wow.
And he was old enough to pick it back up.
I think that kind of happens to a lot of folks, though. Like, I think that's why some people don't make it to shows is they get kids.
Yeah.
They can't make
Our friends are just as old as us. Hurting, chronic pain,
Well, and that's when
lots of Advil.
it makes it tough to even do music in general. Sometimes it's like when you add, like we're fortunate, we got 5 guys in the band, only one of us has kids,
Right.
and like anything like that. So less people having to go do the soccer games
Mhm.
and do all that stuff, and it's like
Right. See, my kid's grown.
Yeah.
And in college, so I'm loving it.
But at least back
I'm an empty
then,
nester. Yeah.
back then it probably made things somewhat.
Oh yeah.
You add.
And that was okay. It was worth it. It was
For sure.
worth it to build that bond with them instead of being gone all the time at practice and shows and stuff.
Yeah, well, and it's like it's being in a band kind of is like being in a family.
Right.
Like there's your band family, there's your real family. You got to try and balance them both and not neglect either one.
Right.
But
Tony's still got his little guy with him.
Yeah, but he's kind of cool now because he's old enough to go to shows.
oh, that's always
I've been taking him to some things, like we went and saw Death Clock, and
wasn't that a good show?
that was probably one of the happiest.
Oh, I think I saw you there.
happiest metal shows I've ever seen. Just all happy. It was like you go to a Slayer show and there's injuries and death and horrifying, and then this was just like, all right, everybody, let's just have a good time.
Yeah,
Just
it was
cool.
very interesting
Mhm.
for like a metal show.
Yeah, I took my kid to Slayer, and he was quite a bit younger though at the time, and he was like, "Are those people fighting?" I'm like, "Kinda."
Like, probably. I remember my cousin told me a story. He lives down in Denver and he goes to all kinds of shows. He said the craziest thing he ever saw was somebody come out of a Slayer pit holding their eyeball.
Oh my
I'm like,
God.
that's disgusting.
It doesn't surprise me.
No, no.
I'm not even
Dude.
surprised. I know our friend Johnny. He just got knocked down and stomped at when they played the Shrine the first time.
Oh God.
Oh, like he can't hit a bruise on his like hip like that big.
Shrine shows used to get crazy.
The glasses were broke. You know, he just stomped him. It's like, oh, Johnny.
Yeah, I remember one time I saw it was in Missoula. Some dude jumped up. I think it was Static X is who was playing at the time. It was like a big festival. And somebody jumped on stage, security grabs him. He somehow breaks away from security, jumps off stage and like just full on like drop kicks some dude in the crowd. Beer goes flying. He stands up. He's like, "What the hell just happened?" I'm like, "I've just straight drop kick like WWE style." It was like wild.
What was that show recently with Phil and Sim on the Illegals?
Oh, Super Giant?
Yeah, or no, at the
Pub?
at the Metro.
Oh, at the Metro. That was with Slayer.
Oh
Oh,
yeah.
yeah. I remember that show. Like, I was on the floor when Phil and Simo started. They were the opener, and this one guy, man, he was on the ground, broke his hip within like the first 30 seconds of the
Jesus.
show, and like
Didn't they have to like stretch
he's
him
laying
out?
on the ground, yeah, and he's still doing this. Plus, broke his hip.
What
yeah.
a bummer.
I know.
Like, at least do that at the end of the show, or not at
It was
all, I
like the
guess.
first
But
20 seconds. Too.
yeah, there's been plenty of stretchers. I've seen plenty of stretchers. Luckily, never been on one.
Yeah.
I think the worst was Blackbone, which is Saliva now.
Hmm.
And they used to
Well.
play at Casey's all the time. And this girl just got knocked out so hard, like where she was like snoring.
Ooh.
And we were standing outside waiting for the ambulance to come and get her. We were like, oh, this is bad.
Oh yeah. That's when you're really out.
Like that was probably the most violent small show pit I'd ever seen. Boom. Yeah.
God. Yeah, I don't know if I've ever been. Oh, actually, you know what? I take that back. You know, I'm not a pit guy no more. I can't do it anymore. But and I never really was. But every now and again, you hear a song and you're just like, I gotta get in there. Attila.
Oh yeah.
That was I've never
At the rail
ever.
yard?
No, it was at a pub.
Oh, the pub.
I can't remember who they were playing with, but yeah, it was Attila. And I've never fallen in a pit one time in my life. Fell down like 2 or 3 times in that pit. And I was just like, I gotta get the hell out of here. Like that was probably one of the more brutal pits I've been in.
Yeah. Slayer.
Of course.
Slayer is it for me.
Yeah. I wouldn't even attempt. I don't think I've ever been on the floor for Slayer. I've seen them 3 times, but I've never been on the floor. I'm just like,
It's okay.
Yeah, even now, you know, like back in the day, I'm sure it was like crazy. And even now it's crazy. They just still have that reputation.
Had.
Well, yeah.
I guess they're getting back together for some shows.
Anytime a band says they're done, I'm like,
Right.
shut the hell up. Like, you're not done.
What Dave Elson just said the other day is when they said they're going to cancel or they're going to be done, it usually just means we'll see you later.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I could see him being back in Megadeth next week.
Mm-hmm.
All the fanboys will be mad. Somebody will be upset, but he'll be back and everyone will buy tickets. It'll be cool.
Yeah. You guys have any bands that you regretted not seeing? Like you had the opportunity to see them and you just like, for whatever reason, went...
Cradle of Filth.
Mm.
Went to that, but I had a kid. I wanted to see Cradle of Filth bad. For sure. That was probably
We played with Cradle of Filth, Milwaukee.
Oh,
Metal
shit.
Fest. We played Milwaukee Metal Fest. A different band of mine back in the day, Misled. So we were like one of the first bands to go on. We were on at like 1:00 in the afternoon, but of course that still counts as opening because we were on the same stage
Yeah, yeah.
as Cradle of Filth and SOD and Venom.
Yeah,
Shit.
You guys got to see Kronos at McDonald's.
Yeah, we met Kronos. Yep. Forgot where I was going with that.
Well, I had asked if there was any bands that you
Oh,
hadn't, or that you regretted not. Seeing.
yeah. I've never seen AC/DC.
That'd
Right?
be badass.
That's like a staple,
Even now would be cool.
Oh yeah, I've
right?
there's. I always thought after he retired, I was thinking Jack Black would have been a perfect fill-in for him.
All right.
They have like just that.
Even looks alike.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm sure he would have said yes. No, I got a whole list of bands that I've not seen that I still want to see, but Motorhead was the one that I regret.
I saw Motorhead.
I've seen
Yeah,
Motorhead.
I wish I would have gone and done that.
I was right underneath Lemmy the whole time.
Were you?
Right there, right in the front row, up against the thing.
Yeah, that's
Swear.
Yeah, growing up in New Orleans, man, there was bands coming through every single weekend. It was tough to keep up just financially.
oh,
I mean, because all bands, they want to play New Orleans, you know. Yeah, we're in New Orleans.
of course. Oh,
So I've seen tons and tons.
if I lived in a big city that had concerts every weekend, I would definitely be broke.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, you'd have to like budget yourself, and like you'd have to schedule out like, oh, they'll be back in 3 months, 4 months. You know, like I can miss them this time around. Here, you got to take every opportunity you get if
Mhm.
they're passing through.
Mhm.
There's only ever like maybe 3 or 4 bands that consistently come here, and then you got bands that are like, yeah, this is the only time we'll ever be here.
Dude, I've seen Aerosmith like 5 times in New Orleans.
Oh shit!
Have they ever been here?
Yeah, like,
I think-
I think they've been here about 4 times.
Oh really?
Back in the day,
Okay.
they came here with Skid Row, and I was just a squeaker.
I don't obviously I don't remember that, but like I've heard my uncle talk about that.
I'm as old as an uncle. Yeah, they came here with Skid Row. Kiss came with the Hot in the Shade tour. Like, can I get a ride to town? They're like, no. I'm like, damn. But
Oh.
we saw, like I said, my big show when I was a kid was Metallica and Faith No More in 1989. The Metra, 1,100 people.
Wow.
So they just let the
That
kids,
was it?
Yeah, they just let the kids come down from above, and it was just everyone was on the floor.
Wow.
Just cool. Yeah, it was just like, and then we got made fun of when we went back to school because it was the Injustice tour. So it was just all the black shirt wearing kids, and then we never, oh, you guys and your Metallica, blah blah blah. Then 2 years later, everybody was there.
Of course.
So I think we're ahead of the curve. We just
That's
Just
always
something-
nice when you're
something.
like, you can be like, hey, I was here long before you knew who these guys were.
yeah. Then we went and everybody was there and we had to sit in chairs.
Oh, that's dumb. Who did you guys open for? I remember you guys when you were in Endeavor, or maybe I don't know who. The Endeavor lineup changes so often.
Mike was in Endeavor.
Yeah,
And they opened for everybody.
yeah.
Everybody.
And then you said both of you guys were in Endeavor at one point.
No.
Oh, okay.
Neither one of them.
Okay, maybe I must have.
Knowing them
Me and
all,
Mike were in a band before Endeavor.
That's right. Just staying. Yeah.
and I've known all the Endeavor guys since like freshman, maybe high school.
I think our highlight was we opened for Superjoint
Nice.
at the pub, which was super cool.
Hell yeah. Oh no, I think I was there.
Because
Yeah, I definitely was there.
I'm friends with Jimmy Bauer. He grew up in New Orleans, like in my neighborhood. And he was the guitar player for Superjoint. Plays drums and down. Plays guitar and I Hate God. And so it was cool to see him for the first time in like 30 years. And 'cause I hadn't seen him since I moved away from New Orleans, which was 20 years ago, 25 years ago. So it was cool to see him and be able to share the stage with them at the same time, like a
They watched
reunion.
us.
And
That's
Yeah.
cool.
They were watching us, and that was, I don't want
Yeah.
to say it was unnerving, but it was surreal. Like,
yeah,
that's
and he's like,
Jimmy
"Hey,"
Bauer.
he took me on the bus and he introduced me to Phil. Phil gave me a big hug. Like Jimmy says, "Man, this is the guy I was telling you about. It's my brother Rob." And Phil like hugs me and he's like, "Any brother Jimmy's a brother of mine." And he gives me this big hug. And I'm hanging on the bus, drinking beers. It was awesome.
Dude, that's badass. Yeah, I was at that show. Because that was the first time I'd ever seen Phil. And
Right.
it was just one of those, like, spiritual moments.
Yeah,
Where you're just like, oh my
yeah,
God.
yeah.
Yeah. It's like when you see those people like that, and you're just like, Yeah, I'm gonna. Well, I always say when I went and saw Black Label Society, I was going, yeah, we're gonna go see Zach Wild, and you don't think about it until they actually come out on the stage, and you go,
Huh.
holy shit, that is Zach Wild. I'm watching Zach Wild right now, and wow, he's here, and I'm here in the same space as
Yeah,
him
we're
right
breathing the same
Right.
air. I remember. Did you go to the one when they were at Pub?
now. No, I went to the one at the Shrine.
Oh, okay, yeah. When they played Pub, I think that was the last time I saw them. He went and stood up on that like center, like that table they have in the middle where it's on that pole. He went and stood up there and played a solo.
Oh yeah.
As he's walking around, the security guards are like pushing people back and like making a path for him to walk. And I just like reach over and I pat him on the shoulder because he just walked right by me. I was just like, yeah, man. He turns around and looks at me. I didn't think that was going to happen. I'm like, he's just going to go straight
Right.
to... He turns around and looks at me and I'm like, I was just like, what's up? Like, that was crazy. But he was like, why aren't these security guys keeping this dumbass back from me?
Right. He probably dug it though.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, no, it was, I just didn't know what to do in the moment. I was like, fuck, hey, what's
Right.
up, man? One of those one of those like awe moments when somebody comes out on stage I didn't expect because I'm not really a huge fan, but when Jonathan Davis from Korn came out, like I
Right.
said, I'm not like this huge Korn fan, but I was just like, holy shit, like there's something like, because that's my childhood,
Right.
and I'm just like, that's fucking
Oh
cool.
yeah. You should on the Kiss cruise, man. When Vance got the meet and greet, and he got to take like 2 people with him, 4 people. Dude, I'm sitting here talking to Gene Simmons, like from me to you, and we're having a conversation, just normal. He's telling me about his kidney stones, and like why he was late for the stage. He was trying to pass one, like right before they played. And
That would suck.
I'm like, so knowing Gene, he doesn't drink or smoke or anything. So I was kind of being facetious. I was like, Gene, I thought you thought got kidney stones from drinking too much. And oh my God, he proceeded to give me the whole history of kidney stones, where they come from, how they're made, all the treatment that's ever been. Because he's going to get them. He's going to do his research, and he's going to know everything about it, right?
Yeah.
And so, yeah, after a while, he just went to shut up. He just kept talking.
Oh, that's
And I'm like, what am
Gene.
I going to do,
Well, yeah. And
And
sometimes
he's looking me in the eyeball. And I'm just, okay, yeah, wow, really?
sometimes you just gotta let it happen. You're just like, I'm not gonna be the guy
I was
that ruins
freaking
this
out.
moment.
Inside, I was freaking out.
Oh, I
you know,
bet.
But I'm like, oh, really? Is that how that works? I don't know.
Tell me
Oh,
more.
shit. I'm like, damn it.
That's crazy.
I had a friend who got a call from Gene Simmons. And I said, what was it like? And he goes, it was like talking to a cop that you really liked. I was like, really? He goes, yeah. I said, you love him to death, but you didn't want to screw up and say anything stupid. You
Oh,
just
yeah.
wanted just the whole thing to be cool.
I could see that. Yeah, I've never seen Kiss or anything. Yeah, I don't even think I've ever had an opportunity to. The closest I ever played here, I think, went as far as
Denver?
Sheridan,
Cheyenne. I think.
Oh, Cheyenne, yeah.
They played
Went
the
to
Cheyenne.
that.
Bozeman.
Oh, did they? Yeah, yeah, they did play
Bozeman, too. I
Bozeman.
went to that, too.
And we had the one, like I said, back in 89, 90, something like that.
Yeah.
And that was no paint.
That one in Bozeman, a friend of mine, I won't say his name, but he's a collector. Collects Kiss stuff, right?
I think I know who you're talking about.
And he goes to the we go up to the merch stand, and he says, I'll take one of everything. And it took him like an hour to get everything together,
Holy shit.
but he bought one of everything at that merch
That's crazy. Some people are, I mean, Kiss Army, that's not a joke.
stand. Yeah. Kiss Navy, too.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Those cruises were awesome.
Oh, dude, I can only imagine.
Yeah.
And you
it's
played
unreal.
on that?
No, we didn't play.
Oh,
We
you just were
cruisers, but,
chilling.
they're on the ship, and they play a sail away show unmasked, and then they do a couple of shows on the ship, and then they give you the opportunity to purchase a stage played guitar or cymbal or snare drum, and that's how you get the meet and greet. So one of my friends bought the bass, and he got a meet and greet, and another of my friends bought the snare drum from Tommy, or Eric, singer. So we got to do the meet and greet with him. And yeah, and so it's funny though because he would switch guitars between every song. Okay. So that made it stage played.
Okay.
So you could buy the guitar not stage played for 5,000. But if it was stage played, it was 10,000.
Jesus. And
I
people,
know, right?
I'm sure people were buying them left and right.
He'll sign it, and you get like a 20-minute meet and greet.
That's pretty cool. I mean,
Right.
Yeah, that seems to be the new supplemental income now for because
Right.
like Scott Ian sells guitars,
Yeah.
so he'll sell his stage played guitars. He'll play like one song, and then sign it, and then they sell it off.
Yeah.
well, yeah, you got to find other ways because you're not really making it on the music. It's
Yeah.
at the shows.
We have a tiered level of packages Pressureknot packages you could purchase.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. The silver package, you buy a CD, and we sign it, and we chat. And the gold package, you buy a CD and a T-shirt. We sign the CD and the T-shirt, and we chat. And then we have the platinum package. We buy the CD, T-shirt, sign them both, and we sign a body part of your choice. So if it could be a boobie, it could be a booty, it could be a stomach. That's the platinum package.
Sign me up for the platinum package. I'm purchasing the platinum.
That's just a joke.
Yeah, no, that's funny though. Right on. Well, shit. I was gonna ask, what? Just since we were on the topic of concerts, what's a concert? And I'm sure you guys have been to tons. What's one that like stands out in your mind as like, this is top tier? It doesn't have to be your number one. Obviously, that's so hard to choose a number one. But what's just one? Maybe it was the venue, it was the band, it was just all the circumstances together.
My favorite live show, because I like a lot of club shows. Arena's different. You don't get that sort of interaction. There's this band called the International Playboys from Missoula.
Okay.
That was the craziest, most insane, drunken train wreck of a show. It was amazing. It was like their guitar player the whole time just was talking about how he wanted to play 2112. And they don't play 2112 music. This is full-on garage rock. And he was just wasted. He's this big, tall dude. And he put his foot up on the monitor, and the monitor was slanted. And he's doing a solo. And for some reason, he thought he could put the other foot up on the monitor too. So he put both on the monitor, and he just fell straight back. And this was at Jay's Upstairs, and that's gone.
Oh, yeah.
That was in Missoula. And that stage was hardwood, and his head went like that, bam, and it bounced. And he kept playing the solo, and the singer got over the top of him and did one of these and was like that, and was like, "This is the most amazing thing ever." Like, I love
just
this.
Pure chaos.
It was great. It was like if every show could be this good.
Damn, something to aspire to.
Oh yeah, and people destroyed the bat. I mean, everything went off the rails. It was great. I was like, God, I can't believe we're here.
Jeez, yeah, that sounds like a good time. Damn.
Wow. I don't know if I could top that, but I want to say 90, 91, it was Skid Row and Pantera co-headlining. They were taking turns each night, and it was in this little club in New Orleans, and this was before guardrails, so you could just get right up on the stage. And I had this chick with me when I took her there on a date, and it was up close, personal with both bands, and bands were lucky I even paid attention because I had my hand down her pants all night.
You're just playing guitar down.
Yeah, I'm like watching,
Man.
holding, digging.
Godly. Hey, you gotta love that.
Yeah.
What's nothing wrong with that?
Yeah.
What would you say is one of your favorite shows that you've played? I know it's hard because they're all just
Well,
they're all the best.
I think that last Kraft local, Kirk's Groceries
That was really fun.
That one was good. The one at Andy's after they kicked all those people out and they had to come down and play at Andy's. The spontaneous Andy show.
Yeah.
People have been drinking all day.
Yeah.
And bumping the microphone into you whacked your tooth on the mic.
Mm-hmm.
And pedals were
Oh,
flying.
that was a big one. Yeah.
I guess maybe I just enjoy chaos.
Sounds like
Yeah.
it. You thrive
Oh
in
yeah, I
the chaos.
remember Ron was holding my mic stand. I was trying to sing backups, and this guy, right as I get up to the mic, he bumps into it and chips my tooth. Right, and so now Ron's over there holding the mic stand as I'm trying to do backups. It was just pure chaos. It was.
And yeah, everyone was having too good of a time. It was amazing.
Hey, and then if you're supplying the
Right.
music that's gonna amplify that, then
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, when we played back with that Kirk's Groceries with this last one,
That was a
really
blast.
good. I enjoyed that very much.
hell yeah.
It was like old school.
My personal wasn't with Pressureknot, but back in the day when the Outlaws used to be here, I played the national anthem
Oh shit.
at the game, and it was like the playoff game before they were just decide if they were going to go to the championship, and so I played the national anthem like Jimi Hendrix style, and when I stopped, that place was packed. There was probably 8,000 people there, I want to say.
Back then they had big crowds.
Yeah, and man, when I stopped playing and it sounded like a stadium, dude. Like, it just took my breath away. It blew me away.
That's
like,
it.
I've never. So that's like, I can actually say I've played in front of like 7,000 people.
I was probably there because I used to go to all those games.
Yeah.
And that's funny you brought that up because our guitar player Drew is going to play the national anthem this weekend.
Is he?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Cool.
The next day after the show.
Nice.
That's what a small world.
It's the best feeling in the world.
Yeah, that's awesome. It's definitely not as big as it was back then. Like
Right.
back then, those
those
shows
guys,
would
they were
sell
all
out.
on cocaine and everything.
Oh yeah. They must have been supplying the
It
crowd
was the
too.
day before the Father's Day tornado.
Really?
It was the night before
Shit.
when that tornado was over the metro.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was that night before that.
So you played the last
I did.
performance in the old Metro.
Yep.
Like the technical old Metro.
Yeah.
Wow.
I was watching Toy Story 3 at that time. I had a small child.
I know.
Hey, good movie.
That
That's
was
how
like
I know.
I want to say that was like 08 or 06.
Something like that, yeah.
It had to be 08.
Oh, wait.
I want to say 08, 09.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Aiden was born in 2007.
Okay.
Yeah, I was definitely at that game. That's hilarious.
Yep.
That's crazy. I did not know. That's badass. That's got to be like just a crazy feeling.
Yeah, I mean that was the downside was like if I screwed up, I couldn't blame the bass player.
Yeah.
'Cause
Yeah,
it was
right.
just me.
Yeah, that's the pressure that goes into that.
The brown note.
The brown-
Well, shit, boys. Let's
All
wrap
right.
this thing up. I appreciate you guys coming on.
Thanks for having us.
I apologize for not giving you a little heads up on this one, but one thing I do on this show is I like to wrap up my episodes with my guests giving a positive or motivational message that maybe something you've used through your life that got you through tough times or something that you just use to motivate you on a day-to-day basis, and then something to give back to the audience. If there's anything that comes to your mind, I wish I would have gave you a little pre-heads
I know, right?
up. I did this to Ben when he was on the show too before, and
Like a piece of wisdom,
just something that
lesson learned.
yeah, maybe just whatever comes to your mind. It doesn't have to be nothing too poetic.
I'm full of all kind of
Well,
wisdomisms.
I don't know. I think my thing is you should always be thankful.
Yeah.
Just always because, no matter how bad it gets,
Yeah.
you still got whatever to
Mhm.
keep going. That's my thing.
It's funny you say that because just recently I decided to do some inventory of myself, and I decided to actually literally count my blessings And it turns out I have a buttload that I take for granted, that I don't even realize. So staying humble and being grateful for all the things you have, and not, you know, pissed about the things you don't have, makes a world of difference in your life. And instead of chasing that dollar,
Oh, yeah.
you know, you chase your happiness.
Mm-hmm.
That might be one of my favorite ones I've heard. Like the count your
Yeah, count your blessings.
make a stock of your own inventory.
Yeah. I was going to say something along the lines of, like, because I tell my kid this, like, he's in college and he's married and he's working and he's going to school full time and he's supporting and he's married, and, you know, he's got his nose to the grindstone and he's making all the right decisions and he's busting his ass to be the best thing he can be. And he doesn't realize that when he gets older, it's going to get easier. Right now, he's in, like, the whitewater waves at the beach. He's getting splashed like Tom Hanks,
Mm-hmm.
Castaway,
Yeah.
when he's on that raft and it gets pushed back. He's still in that whitewater. He hasn't even got to the breakers yet, much less smooth sailing. And he doesn't even have a clue what that's about. All he knows is what he's doing right now, and it's rough. And I want to tell him, I haven't yet, but I want to tell him, you know what? Once you hit your 30, 35 stride, things are gonna start to ease off, and you'll be thankful you struggled when you did, because you won't have to as much now later.
Yeah. Get it out of the way, you know.
Yeah.
Make life easier down the road.
Mm-hmm. So just keep pushing, and if you outwork everybody, good things are gonna come your way, and you're gonna hit the smooth sailing part.
Hell yeah.
Or like, hey, I got it together, and it's not all a big struggle now.
Oh yeah.
Stick with it.
I like it. Right on, guys. Looking forward to this show this weekend.
Yep,
It's gonna be a
can't
good
wait.
time.
Friday night.
Make sure everybody come out Friday night. Craft Local, Mobsquito, Cutthroat, and Pressureknot.
You got
It's
it.
gonna be a hell of a time.
Hell yeah.
Don't forget though, life's a garden. Dig it.
Just gotta keep on keeping on. Why don't you talk in the microphone? I got a back right here. Back of my. Back of my. Back of my. Back of my. Life's a garden, dig it, you make it